Who should be wide receiver 3 for the Washington Commanders? Let's talk about it. What is going on, everybody? Triple Abdullah here, coming at you with another video for the channel. And then today, guys, I'm coming at you with a video that I should have done a while ago, but I've been so busy. I appreciate the patience, guys. Had school, graduation, family, jobs, post-grad life. I'm also a co-host for Locked On Wizards, so make sure you guys go check that out on YouTube. It's been a blast. Let's talk about the Commanders. OTAs has started. Media day was today. A lot of the guys looked fresh in their jerseys. Laramie Tunsil looked like a unit. B-Rob, Bobby Wagner, Jaden looked as clean as always. The aura, you could just sense it off the media photos. Just joking, but not really. But if Commanders, man, I haven't talked about them in a while, and a topic that I've been wanting to talk about is wide receiver 3, and that's Jalen Lane out of Virginia Tech and Luke McCaffrey, the brother of CMC. That's been the debate between who should be that wide receiver 3. We already have it settled that Terry McLaurin is going to be wide receiver 1, Deebo Samuel's going to be wide receiver 2. Now, side note, for those of you that think Terry McLaurin is not going to get a contract extension, I think you're crazy. He's going to get paid. Whether if the reports are true that he's frustrated, it is what it is. If I'm the Commanders, I just don't want those reports to be out. He should get paid. He deserves to get the top dollar. This past year, his best year statistically, he played alongside a good quarterback finally for the first time in his career. Pay the man. Don't be so dramatic. He'll get paid. And I think it's going to happen within the next couple of weeks. And now we talk about Deebo Samuel, wide receiver 2. You're bringing a guy from San Francisco who had a down year, but if you think about it, his stats last year would still make him wide receiver 2 on the Commanders that this past year. And the wide receiver 2 for the Commanders was Zach Ertz, a tight end. So this goes to show the inconsistency that we had in the wide receiver room last year. And now you bring in a good receiver 2, and you pair him up with Terry. I think there'll be a dynamic duo, and Cliff Kingsbury with the upgraded offensive line could do some trickery, expand this playbook, stretch the field even more downfield, and jet sweeps, read. It's going to be fun. It's going to be really, really fun. And now it brings up the question, the question for today's video: wide receiver 3. I'm a big fan of out of Jalen Lane out of Virginia Tech. I saw him play for a couple of years. Was from Middle Tennessee, then transferred to VT. Was underutilized at Virginia Tech due to the fact that it was kind of similar to what Terry McLaurin had to deal with when he came into the NFL. Poor quarterback play. I mean, Virginia Tech didn't really have a starting quarterback that was actually like consistent and was adequate enough to be a college quarterback, especially when they're losing in the ACC a lot. And there was high hopes for them, but they ended up having a disappointing year this past year. But Jalen Lane, as a returner, I think he can be really, really good. And if you're the Commanders, getting him in the 3rd round, I think it was a steal because you have a guy that can 4.3 speed, and Cliff Kingsbury loves that type of speed. So I think a big reason why he's going to make his mark, especially in the preseason, and I think work his way up the wide receiver room. Because, again, you have a stacked wide receiver room with, I mentioned Terry McLaurin, I mentioned Deebo Samuel, you have Noah Brown, you have Luke McCaffrey, you have Michael Gallup, KJ Osborne. There's probably someone, the guy Brooks, I forgot his first name, Brooks, the receiver from Louisville, the undrafted free agent who also played in Alabama. There's probably some other wide receivers. Oh, Jamison Crowder. So there's some competition, but a big reason why I think Jalen Lane is going to take over that wide receiver 3 position, wide receiver role. I think right now you give it to Luke McCaffrey just because, again, played last year, but I think Jalen Lane's creeping up that wide receiver room depth because the versatility. Not only is a good punt returner, and that's something that we haven't had here in a while. We had decent returns from Austin Eckler last year, but then he went out with an injury. And Jamison Crowder, very consistent throughout his career, but you want to get younger at that position, especially a dynamic position where if you return punts and you're good at it, it opens up more opportunities for your offense and eases up on your defense. So if you're the Commanders, Jalen Lane at wide receiver 3 is my prediction. I think that's what's genuinely going to happen. And I think so much attention on Deebo and Terry is going to open up the playbook for him. And I'm not, as much as I love Luke McCaffrey, it sucked that he didn't score a touchdown last year. He was close many, many times. I think there's just not that much upside. If you're going to get a guy that can catch the ball, but kind of lacks the explosiveness and separation, is still questionable. I think Jalen Lane checks off a lot of boxes compared to him, at least coming out of college. We'll see if Jalen Lane's game will translate, and I think it will do so. But I meant Noah Brown, you bring back. Maybe he could fight for that wide receiver 3 role. He wasn't really fit for that wide receiver 2 role because, again, injuries, and there were games where he would have break hands. But I'm excited. I really am excited. And I think Jalen Lane will step up to be the wide receiver 3 here in Washington. But let me know your guys' thoughts on Jalen Lane and what's his rookie year prediction stat line according to you guys. Do you think Luke McCaffrey is still going to be the wide receiver 3? I know reports came out that Jair Alexander got cut by the Green Bay Packers. I do not think the Commanders should go after him. Right now, I think we're really good in the secondary. I'm just really concerned about edge rusher. Is there a possibility of the Commanders going after Trey Hendrickson still? I do not know. Maybe you wait Adam Pierce, Genius's plan is waiting and before week 1 of the regular season, then eventually trading for him because his trade value dwindled up until that point. But we'll just have to see. Cincinnati is still very clear that they're not going to be trading him anytime soon, at least to my knowledge. But it doesn't look like he wants to play there. So we need an edge rusher. It's going to be hard because this defensive line, I get our offensive line got way better, but the defensive line, especially the edge rusher position, I'm kind of concerned about because you got Clinton Farrell, you got Dorrance Armstrong, but you have Dietrich Wise, but you don't have anyone that scares offensive tackles and opposing quarterbacks, especially if we're going in a division against Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, and now Jackson Dart. I forgot his name, but so we'll just have to see. We'll have to see. But guys, let me know your thoughts. I am back posting. Try to be more consistent. Hail to the freaking Commanders. I'm out. Peace.